Alright, this is a video about the 6 mineral high yield Vespian geyser map. This is a map type that has been, an experimental map type that has been proposed by Baron from Team Liquid. The idea is that the map sizes are about the same, but the mineral and Vespian geyser income that you can get off of one base is smaller than what you can get in traditional StarCraft 2 maps. The idea is that we're trying to limit how good each individual base is, which can promote more expanding, more aggressive map dominance, and less turtly one base or deathball style play. So what I have is a replay of a game between my buddy, Masters Protoss player Net, and me, Diamond Platinum level Terran, over here in the bottom. It's not my best game ever. I'm just warning you. But I mean, what I wanted to show you is how this plays out. I mean, if you'll notice, first of all, there's 6 mineral patches here instead of 8. What that means is that you will saturate this base much quicker with fewer workers. What that also means, though, is that the maximum income you can get off of one base is smaller than what you can get off of one base in StarCraft 2. This means that your army size is that much smaller as well. It also puts a little bit more emphasis on early pressure, because your unit compositions are going to be so much smaller at the beginning, which kind of encourages more micro base play at the beginning. So I mean, so far this is a pretty standard opening for TVP. We got the Proparas in here from Net, and I'm just scouting through the base over here. And the thing is, I noticed that he's taking a Nexus first. I'm pretty sure I scouted that. No, I haven't scouted it yet, but I'm probably going to in a moment. He's blocking me from preemptively stealing his gas with this kind of map. Because you only have one Vespian geyser, the gas steal harassment that you see in a lot of ladder games is actually a lot more powerful. He did that to me in a previous game. I did the same thing. Just preemptively took my gas even though I'm not mining, just to prevent him from taking it away. Because once you take away that one geyser, I can't tech at all. All I can make is Marines. I'm gonna open up with a 1-Rax bunker. 1-Rax bunker pressure. This is the sort of thing you normally see in Terran vs. Zerg. But because he's doing this this Nexus first style play, and he doesn't have any gateway units down yet, I can actually get away with this. And I think, if I remember correctly, I'm going to expand behind this. This is actually a very pretty map too. I know Baron made the Devolution map, where it was on that ugly desert tile set, but whoever made this version of it, props to you. This is a really pretty looking map. I'm really a fan of the Agria tile set. I don't know why more people don't use it. Alright, so he's a little bit ahead in workers right now. I think he sees this bunker pressure that I'm putting on him. Yeah, he sees it. Not the best Marine micro. I get 1 probe. I already got 2 probes, and I denied about, what was that, 6 probes? 5 or 6 probes mining time? Oh, more than that, too, because he's using 4 to attack the bunker. So that was worth it. That was more than worth it. And back at my base, I'm, building, more Marines, getting my own command center down, starting up my tech. But you'll already notice, though, that both of us, it's it's 6 minutes in the game right now, and our tech is very limited. We don't have nearly as much as we would normally at this point in a standard game on a standard map. This is intentional. The whole point of this map is to delay teching and to delay army size. And I know that kind of sounds like it's boring, but what that means is that every single unit that you do make is that much more valuable. And it's gonna sound a little boring to to people that have only played StarCraft 2, but to Brood War players, I can tell you that it's a really appealing type of gameplay. Alright, I think he's looking like he's gonna take, yeah, he takes a third base. He's at third base at 7 minutes in. This is pretty quick. The layout of the map makes it relatively easy to defend a fast third, just if you bottle up here with photon cannons or sentries or siege tanks. Here come the Marines. This is just a little Marine poke, just to, again, keep him honest. This guy's got a tendency to really play greedy on me sometimes. It bothers me. Worker counts are still really low for this point in the game. Yeah, see, he's been making a lot more probes than I have, but he doesn't have his warp tech up, and he doesn't have like stalkers or sentries or anything like that. So I'm just able to get in some free damage. Back home, I'm upgrading my infantry, getting Stimpack and Tesla shells, you know, standard stuff. Oh, I wanted that sentry. Oh, I don't get the sentry. I got a couple probes. Yeah, I killed about 11 probes already. Killed a couple units. Not bad overall. I've only lost like, I mean, not all of these were Marines. I think it's like, yeah, it's 10 Marines and 2 SCVs. 10 Marines and 2 SCVs for about 11 probes. Not a bad trade. I'm just putting on more pressure. Alright, the one thing that you have to notice at this point is we are now almost 11 minutes in, and the supply counts for both players are very low. He's teching up to Colossus tech, although it's going to be difficult to do. Even on 3 base, it takes a long time to do. And maybe here I am pressuring him, like removing his 3 base from play. I'm pretty sure I get this 3 base. Run, Marines! Run! Alright, they get out. I'm taking my third behind them. I'm being a lot more cautious about, like, utilizing expansions on this map than he is. It's starting to pay off a little bit, too, because, like, he's investing a lot more in his economy. Like, he has more probes than I do. But if you'll notice, he's really oversaturated at his main. Well, not his main so much as his natural. But he's really oversaturated at his natural. So even though he had that third base up, he didn't really, like, get much from it. One more thing, too, that I've noticed. Because the army counts stay lower for longer, it actually makes siege tanks a lot better in TvP than they would be normally. Protoss players know that, like, early on, siege tanks are actually pretty scary. When you don't really have Colossus or a good Immortal count yet, siege tanks are actually really good. And if the game goes on longer that way, siege tanks become more of a core unit in the matchup. So that's one thing that I've noticed about this map already, is that it really changes like what units are valuable in each matchup. Like Banelings aren't as good in TvZ because gas is a lot more scarce. So you want to minimize like how often you use Banelings, because once you've used them once, they're gone. They're gone for good. So little things like that actually really change like how each matchup plays out. I mean, look at this. He's pushing out now, and the army is really small, but he's ahead of me in supply. And we're like 13, 14 minutes in, and this is the army that he pushes with. Like, this is unheard of in StarCraft 2. Like, the army sizes are usually much bigger than this. He should be already at like 130 to 140 supply. I shouldn't be using siege tanks. I should already have Ghost Tech or Medivacs out, and I don't. I mean, the slower game style of it is... it's interesting to me, like, how different the game plays out with just something so simple as, like, lowering the resources for each base. I mean, even if you don't really necessarily agree with this kind of game plan, you have to admit that it has changed a lot. So here comes he's pushing in, but I've got this fortified position with siege tanks over here. Okay. Now, why did he GG? I mean, he GG'd because, I mean, I had taken out his third base over here, and I was already expanding to my third myself, and I was already getting ahead of him in tech. Like, he had Colossus down, but I was already able to start making Vikings. So I think in his mind, he figured, I'm so far behind, the only thing I really have to do right now is to just all in him. And the siege tanks really helped because I was able to block this choke, kill the sentries, and defend my base. And yeah. So that's the one of the games I played on this map. I really like this map style. I really hope this catches on a little bit more. I don't think it's ready for ladder, simply because the game is balanced right now around the 8 mineral, 2 Vespene Geyser standard base layout that you see on ladder maps. But I definitely think that more people should give this a try. It's at least different, you know, and different, you know, it can be better.